Hi guys, I'm back again to share with you a custom journal that I just completed. This is for a sweet customer of mine. And when I received the uh, beautiful Happy Meal from my friend Dee, she saw some items that she really liked. So I made her, she wanted lots of vintage things, and I made her this journal. So it's a soft cover, poofy cover journal, one signature. And in the front, I just took an image. I added some of that, the white fluffy thing to make it poofy. And I stitched around it. I added some vintage buttons and a little dangly charm that I seen the paper outpost, I think it was. She was making these. So with the little, decorating the little bow pins. So I added that vintage lace. All the laces I used are vintage. And then they had sent me this gorgeous runner. And me and my sister split it. I gave her half and I kept half. And so I used it here. I first laid on a cotton fabric from a napkin, a vintage napkin, and then I put this on top because I wanted the design to pop, and I love it. And then to secure and hide the stitching, I just ran some vintage lace there. This is a vintage doily. I backed it on and I added middle corners. And then this is from a vintage I think it was like a runner as well, and I just used it and for the closure. So let's get right in. So we have here, it's a corner of a vintage napkin, and then I just used and made some little tags, and then I pressed some flowers that my sister had given me, a bouquet of these flowers. I don't know what are these called, but once they started wilting, I pressed them, and I just included that as a bookmark on acetate, so she can use this as a bookmark. Here's a little envelope. I didn't put anything in it, and then it's like that. So that all goes there. And here is another little charm with a little dangly flower. This is vintage. All the laces are vintage. And here I made a snippet with some vintage laces and vintage stamps, and I added this little bow pin that says handmade. I was playing with my jelly plate, and so I made these on my jelly plate, and then I took my modeling paste and added like this flower, stenciled that flower with the modeling paste. And then here I just used some of my stamps on my jelly plate to get some images there. I decoupaged a napkin onto some coffee dyed index cards, and so that goes in there. Some more vintage lace there. Little stamp here, a little tiny card, and it just holds this little card there. Here I have a pocket, and then I just included some vintage pieces of fabric, and she can journal in the back. It's a bag. Here I have some more tags. I love the feel of these, different types of textures. Journaling cards, little collaging there. I added some ribbon there. She can journal there as well. And then this here is a little pocket. And I have some vintage little trim there that holds that. So lots of texture here. I used a little vintage doily and made a pocket, and added a little journaling card there. Vintage lace here. More journaling cards. And this is the other corner of the napkin. Some Henry Terry. Coffee dyed. This is an envelope I decoupaged an image onto, and it's empty, so you can add something there. This is a vintage Sears and Roebuck. Here I have another snippet, and I altered a guest check. And this is vintage wallpaper. This wallpaper I got from Tammy at Tammy Minda, and so I made little pockets. You know, they're so pretty, and then there's a little tiny tag in there. And then I added some vintage laces and a little journaling card. So that goes in there. I ran my my vintage music through my computer so I could print out an image on it. So I got that there. My sister gave me these little plastic sleeves, and I like them to add, you know, little things. Little journaling card in there. Here's a little corner. And then this is vintage, all vintage. I got this from D. And then I have it's like acetate I just printed on it. It's not acetate, it's meant to go through the computer, so it's like a little postcard, and I just added that there. And she can journal in the back. And then I printed on the music paper too. Vintage ledger, some more vintage trim, and then here's another little charm. And I have a little tiny booklet here, magnetic, for little, maybe little Bible verses or what have you. And it just closes with the magnet. This is wallpaper. I made a little pocket and altered a playing card with some napkin. And then here's another pocket. One sticker from my awesome sticker book, and some vintage trim. And then I just added some little vintage pieces there. Little vintage doily, I cut it into half, and the other part is on the other one. And I have this awesome braille paper from the 60s that I included. This goes up and down for extra journaling. And then I have another little tag, and then this opens up. And it's open here so that you could save some stuff there. This is more of the jelly print paper, and I just use modeling paste for this here. This is an altered time card. I decoupaged a napkin, added some vintage trim, little doily. She can journal in the back, and it's a pocket. Here, some vintage fabrics. Oh, come on, okay. And this is vintage too. Vintage images. Little pocket, vintage postcard, 1909. And I printed the doves on this music paper. And then here as well, vintage ledger, more trim, more little charm there. Did a little collaging here with some vintage pieces and stamps. You've got some little tags, more vintage trim. This is an envelope. I decoupaged a flashcard. And here I decoupaged This is from 1986. Decoupage and napkin overage. You can journal there. And then in here, there is a little tag. With a decoupage playing card. And this flips up. And this flips up. Middle corner here. There's some decoupaging, not decoupaging, layering there. And here is a wallpaper tag with another one of those print films that you can journal there. And a little tag. Here's another little booklet. Vintage ledger. And then here is, this is wallpaper that I got from Tammy Minda as well. I backed that onto coffee dyed paper. Little print here on the music paper. And then a little tag. And all this is a vintage little pocket. More printing there. Here's some more vintage. You can see the little butterfly. But I got all these from Dee. Thank you so much. This is my jelly printing. There's some thing there, and then little tag with some vintage pieces on the braille paper. It's another little tag. You can journal here, and I left it open here in the back, and this opens up. Another little pocket with some little vintage pieces. And then it opens, and I included some vintage postcards in there. Vintage trim. Another little bead that I made. Vintage ledger. Here's the vintage music that I printed on. And here's another one of those card. And I printed this image here. Another decoupage time card. And here's another guest check that I altered. I added some vintage ledger in the back. And this is another wallpaper pocket. And that I include a little tag in there. And some vintage trims and things. And this is a little envelope. And I did a snippet here on the Sears and Roebuck vintage page. And that goes in there. Another decoupage envelope. Henry Terry. Here's another vintage doily corner. And some tags. Little vintage snippet. And here, this is wallpaper that I got from Tammy, and then vintage trim and another vintage postcard. Little snippet. Another little tag that I just layered some fabrics and laces. An envelope. And then here I have take the day and smell the flowers. Little tag there. Another tag here with some pieces. And of course you can journal there. And then here is the pocket for this one. Gorgeous little card. A little tuck in an envelope. This is more jelly printing, and then I used the modeling paste for the flowers. And then another snippet piece here. And then that is the back. And in the back, I just have another vintage postcard from 1908. And it goes in this pocket. So I hope you like it, hun. And yeah, I'm going to be making some wallpaper journals, simple wallpaper journals. I should have them ready today. And when I'm done with those, I will come and show you. All right, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe. We will get through this. We will get through this because God has gone before us. All right, take care of yourselves, guys, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.